Kori, which specific principles or practices or concepts have been most beneficial for you within the continuum body of work, and why?
Hmm. I think one of the first things that comes to mind is that what we are is movement. So that movement is not something that we do, it's something that we are. And the reason or part of why this feels so essential or important to me is that it really it it really speaks to the undoneness of us, so the infiniteness of us. And I'm not just talking about us as in, this body human, but as a planetary body, as a cosmos. And um, it helps me remember our that we our undoneness, our unfinishedness, and that it's really this continuum, this continuation of life and movement and expression, and that what this is right now, whatever it is that this body, if I'm going to look at this in particular right now, that there's this endless potential, and that it's fresh, it's in the moment, it extends through and beyond, and I feel like that has been a really important concept for me to experience and know.
And when you can I ask you, when you first encountered that concept, was it something that you found challenging, or you struggled with, or like, or you wanted to believe but found hard to believe, or you or just all of you believed it fully and felt, and not just believed but felt it, or just, I guess, the process maybe you went through or not, I don't know, with this concept? Do you
Mhm.
know how you took it on, or wrestled with it, or embraced
Yes. Yeah. So the first time I heard it was from Emily, and I think this was a time at the Omega Institute with her. And I think it was, so I had met her at a brief workshop in Toronto, but then really spent more time and an extended workshop at Omega. So it was the first time I had really had extended time with her, a number of days. And when she said it, I just believed her. um, and I don't remember wrestling with it at all. And again, I don't know if that's because, I think that is because it already felt true in my system. Whether I was using those words to express it or not, it was like, oh yeah, of course. Of course, this makes sense. And Emily had her way of sharing that she had no doubt within her. And so I think that also really translated into my experience of what she said at different points in times. But yeah, it just resonated. I felt a yes. Yeah, and I also wanted to speak to. Oh, did you want me to say more about that, or is it okay to talk about another principle?
these other principles? Yeah.
Okay, okay. So this idea that the field, a collective field, that we can lean into this field to experience and know things that I might not know as an individual yet. And I remember one of the first times, again, this was with Emily at Omega. She had introduced me to this concept of, and I don't remember if she directly said it. She said something about it, and then I re-asked her a question, was like, "Is this what you mean?" Um, but it was this concept that okay, so my body has cystic fibrosis and maybe doesn't know how to deal with a certain bacteria or doesn't know how to clear mucus out of it, and the lungs don't know how to do some of these particular things. But that in a dive, I could open myself up to access the field of this group or even out further beyond of a body that does know how to do this. And by doing that, I could tap into that and help inform this body of how to do something it couldn't otherwise easily do, or it didn't have the experience of doing. And I tapped into this in some different ways. But even the idea that we could know different ways, and this sort of combines both movement and the field, that we could know maybe what it feels like to fly as a bird just by really letting ourselves drop into and engage what it's like to have a wing. And I had an experience of this just recently with Rebecca and Susan in a Mystery Depths, where I knew all of a sudden I was just playing, experimenting, and I stood on a chair out of the blue and flew like a bird. And it was just, oh my God, I could see the mountains below. I could feel the sky. It was life-giving. It was extraordinary. And that we could know something of evolution by coming into a motif around that and then tapping into the field and knowing and feeling what the field knows and what it holds beyond the experience of this brain or mind, what it holds. Incredibly powerful, and has really opened up possibility in my life. And I feel like for our planet, our cosmos, just life in general, knowing that that's possible.